Authentic Texas barbecue. A dream from two brothers landing in Huntington Beach, already winning awards. And their menu is being devoured by a growing fan base here at Peter's Landing.
All right, this is the favorite thing to do at Beale's, and that's trim brisket. #1 seller here, so we're gonna start with this. Takes the longest to do, 24-hour smoke. Listen, I was in elementary school, and I used to walk home by myself, as he did as well. And so, you know, my mom worked. Nobody was at home to cook for us or anything like that. So at 5 or 6 years old, you had to scoot a chair up to the old Keith oven, and you had to cook, whether it be a bologna sandwich or whatever. If you want to eat, you're going to have to learn how to cook. Everything we do here is low and slow. Low and slow. I removed most of the silver skin and some of the big pieces of fat that won't render when we slowly cook this. So we got to carve some of this stuff out because it's no good. That's a big chunk. And then I just run these very sharp blades over this meat and try to trim all this silver skin off. The last thing people want to be chewing on is something that tastes like rubber bands. And we don't do rubber band meat at Bill's Texas Barbecue. Almost done. Turn it over. Another big piece of chunk that we like to get out of there. Take it straight out through the flap. Back over again. From here, I just trim her down. Everything we do here is prime. So in Angus, you know, from the tri-tip, we even use premium pork. So everything we do here at Bill's Texas Barbecue, we use prime meat. None but the best. Angus. I like to eat top quality meat, so it's only right that I sell it as well. Just a little more trimming right here. Nice, symmetrical. And this brisket is ready to go into the pit and be seasoned up. 24 hours from now, you'll be eating this. The owners of this complex happen to be looking for some barbecue because they own a lot of property. They came in, they were like, Brett, how would you like coming to Huntington Beach? And I was like, where? And so they said Peter's Landing. We renovated the whole place. A couple of people that they're partners with is from Texas, so they wanted to be the judge of it. So we took them some food down to their office. They loved the food. They loved the ideas. Me and my brother went down there. We pitched a lot of ideas on what they should do around here. You know, Roshawn did all the visual stuff. We put our heads together. Next thing you know, we're in Huntington Beach. All right, as you can see, we're at Texas Barbecue at Bill's, so everything we get is from Texas. This particular rub right here is made by the one and only Bill Cannon, who's my cooking team leader down there in Houston, Texas. And he's developed all the rubs for our team, and that's all I use. That's all I use at Bill's Texas Barbecue. So, as you can see, all of our meats get all of their own rubs. This is an old #2 brisket rub, which is my favorite one, which I've been serving since I've owned a restaurant, which is a little over 6 years. So we're gonna stick with what works. And this is going on that brisket right now. And so what we're gonna do right now is apply just a little bit of Worcestershire sauce on the brisket, just for a bounding. Rub that all over nice and smooth. Then I take that old #2 brisket rub, and we're gonna sprinkle that on the top. This is what creates the bark on a brisket. This is very important because, I mean, you don't put no seasoning on your meat. You're just gonna have a bland piece of meat that just tastes like wood. This right here is very important. This rub right here is about the best. When we're down at the World Championships, we have other contestants that actually purchase this that we compete against. A little bit of rub on the sides of the point. There you have it. We'll let this sit up for about 10 minutes or so. It'll start sweating. All those seasonings and rubs will start penetrating in the meat. Throw it on the pit. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning here. Be ready to come off at 10 a.m. tomorrow. All right, right now we're gonna be doing my mom's famous peach cobbler, Mary Willis peach cobbler. This recipe is probably about, well, I'm quite sure my grandmother taught her and set for her, so we're talking about over 80 years. We're gonna start by putting the crust in the Pyrex dish here. It's all fitted up in here. Get it where it contours the Pyrex dish. All right. Gonna make some side pieces here. Gotta make the sides here. There's always different ways to make peach cobblers for certain people. Some people don't put a crust on the bottom and they just put it all on the top, but I only know how to make it one way. And that's Mary Lee Willis way. Finish off the sides here. Peach cobbler was one of my favorites, so I really worked hard. Because back then they didn't do any measuring. It was all about smell, looks, and taste. So they would know right away if it didn't smell right or look right, it wasn't gonna make it to the table.
The smell and taste approach is very crucial. I can tell when something is off or something is added just a tad more. So your tongue palate really plays a strong part in that because if we can taste it, the customers will as well.
Smell and taste. So now that I have the bottom base in, what I'm going to start doing now is prepare the rest of the cobbler by making the syrup for the peaches, adding the ingredients. We'll add that on, throw the lattice on top, go straight into the oven for about an hour, cook it till it's golden brown, let it sit for about another hour, it'll be ready to serve. All right, here we go. So we got the peaches, yellow clean peaches right here. All right, so we're gonna start adding some of the ingredients. I can't tell you all the secrets, you know? I have a lot of people that try to sneak in here. Now we got cameras in here, so I can't tell you everything I put in there to make it right. We're gonna put a little bit of vanilla extract in there. We'll put some sugar in there. Put some brown sugar in there. We'll go with a little bit of cinnamon in there. That's gonna make that syrup nice and sweet. And we're also gonna add some nutmeg. You're probably wondering how I know this is gonna be right. It's called smell-o-vision.
Our whole menu should be smell-o-vision.
Oh, I can smell that now. It's gonna be real good. And I'm gonna add one last ingredient in here. That'll just turn it to the peach cobbler.
Peach cobbler took me probably almost 20 years to get it right, you know? So I remember those, that doesn't taste right, don't look right, don't smell right, keep trying again, you know? Well, listen, Granny's very passionate about her stuff. She gives away nothing. So as she's cooking, you better follow along. And you know, Brett was more of a student in the kitchen than myself. I just wanted to go play football. I just wanted to know, is it ready yet? You know, so Brett is, if my grandma's a 10 and Brett's a 9.5, okay, in the kitchen. And that's a lot. That's a very high rating.
There we go. Smelling real good right now, but not quite ready. Okay, and we're gonna add one of the last ingredients. Just a little bit of butter. And you gotta add this butter at the right time, right temperature. That's what makes it perfect. So now you should smell this. You should smell this. Look at that. It's perfect. Now I'm going to add this to the Pyrex dish. Oh, this smells so good. Get all those peaches, all that syrup out of there. Smooth the peaches out. All we got to do now is just add the lettuce. Goes into the oven. You'll be in peach cobbler heaven after this. All right, so now it's time to add the lettuce onto this peach cobbler. Make it look pretty. There we go. And we gotta cut a couple pieces here. Another piece. So now we're gonna go across it, finish it up. Make that lettuce look nice. There you go. We're gonna put a border around it now. Although people love the filling in the peach cobbler, they also love the crust too. And you get two variations. So the top is nice, golden brown, flaky, and crunchy. And on the bottom, the syrup soaks in. So it has a little gooey effect, like a cookie dough effect. So you get two different types of flavors, or shall I say textures. Man, I'm telling you, works out great. And here we go. This is the best and the final part of this process. This brisket right here. We're gonna take this out. Look at that. Carry that over to the table. Yeah, it's ready to go. We smoked this brisket. Look at all that lovely au jus it left. So I have a fat separator right here. Take that, and I'm going to carefully pour that into my fat separator. There we go. After a while, what happens is the au jus, the natural flavors or the liquid part of it, definitely separates from the fat. We're going to start slicing this brisket up. Get my nice little handy dandy slicer. Start making some nice slices. Like to make thin slices. See what our end product turned out to be. I can feel the texture just through the blade. It's a nice brisket right here. At Beale's here, we at least go through, 150 briskets easily a month. Sometimes even more than that, just depends on we're doing catering. As you can see, that smoke ring right there, let you know that that smoke got into that meat. So we scoot that back. We want to see how well we did overnight, and we hang that. I usually tell you that that brisket is nice and tender. Nice smoke ring. So we got good penetration in there. Yes, indeed. That's going to taste good. Brisket is our #1 seller here. That's what we compete in, or shall I say specialize in. So that's where you want to go find it. Brisket is always #1.
Thanks for coming out to Beale's today. We appreciate it, and definitely give us a shot. You won't be disappointed.
Wish they had smell-o-vision, because if you can smell what I'm smelling right now,
that's what Beale's is about. It's just more than food. It's a way of living.